JB here, 918, April 20th. Apologies for the audio. It said no route, and I looked it up. It said something maybe with my router, so I just turned off the Wi-Fi, put it back on, and that fixed it. Just going to be really quick. I'm running out of time, only a couple minutes to the open. First, I want to talk about IBM, and the last couple of quarters with IBM, the last quarter, I guess, is the best example. Stock rallied in the after hours after the earnings report. Looked like it was going to have a solid day and then just gave back all the gains. So if it can hold its gains here today, and I think if it opens here, it's 132.99. If it opens at 133 or so, the call should hold the premium, my May strikes, my May 140s, and then maybe it sets up for a move over 140. So Big Blue will be rooting for it at the open. And I'll probably continue to hold my calls pending any kind of major reversal, maybe a test down to 131 or so. So that's IBM. At some point, and I've said this on my rants yesterday, at some point, the company's reversal, which everybody's been waiting, the turnaround story, is going to come to fruition, and the stock is really going to start to take off. Back in the day, IBM was $180, $200 plus stock. They were buying back shares hand over fist. I think they reduced their outstanding share count by over 100%. And if you take a look, that means that the company should be more attractive to shareholders, right, as they reduce their share count. So that's IBM. I'm not going to talk too much about that. ISRG reports earnings after it closed Thursday. Johnson & Johnson. So yesterday morning, the stock's just spiking after the open. I said, well, is there news? There's some kind of catalyst? And I look, and all the medtech stocks are rallying. Went and got the 300 strikes. The spreads were a little tough, and normally I try to go a little further out of the money, especially with earnings coming. But I didn't want to miss the run, so I went and got I got quite a few of the 300s. And then the stock really took off. It was 286, got over 290, hit 295 right near the end of the day. And it's gapping this morning, so it's 297.30 in the pre-market. Maybe today it gets over $300. I already sold some to cover costs. I'll probably sell a couple more either today or tomorrow just to lock at least some profit in, just in case there's some crazy miss by ISRG. I don't think there will be. If Johnson & Johnson, it was a substantial beat in their medtech sector. It was like $7 billion revenue on a 5 point something estimates. I have to go look at the exact number, but that just bodes well for Biomed, ABMD, Medtronics, MDT, ISRG, obviously. So that's Intuitive Surgical. ROKU, I was lucky enough to get the ROKU strikes when it was 112, spiked all the way up within an hour. It went from 112 to 118. I closed some out to cover costs. A little bit more than cost, and then I held the rest. And the premiums were going up at the end of the day, despite the stock going back down to 116. I guess in hindsight, I should have closed them all out. But I thought even if Netflix didn't have a great quarter, that it would be kind of a relief rally, as the stock sold off crazy the last quarter. But then, sure enough, what happens after the close? They posted a net subscriber loss of 200,000 for the quarter. They guided for a 2 million loss for the next quarter. Just crazy stuff. They haven't posted a loss in over a decade. Some of that has to do with Russia, so they shut down the Russia accounts. 700,000 accounts are in Russia. So if you do the math, that means they actually had a net add of 500,000. But then you also look, North America, which was the bread and butter, they lost 600,000 subscribers there. So the growth story for Netflix the last couple of years has been international. So as long as that keeps finding its sweet spot, maybe that starts to offset if the North America sector has matured and see declines. The other good thing is they didn't talk about the consumer cutting back on discretionary items. So they pretty much cited the competitive landscape and people sharing accounts as some of the reason they didn't see as much subscriber ads as and they saw more churn than they were expecting. I'm not saying I'm going to go out and get Netflix here. It's going to be a tough story. I mean, if they post another quarter of 2 million, if it's 2 million or more than that next quarter, and they post another guide of negative sub ads, I mean, the stock will be in the hundreds. So I mean, who knows if that's going to happen here? So unfortunately, that pulled Roku down. It pulled down Disney, Paramount, Fubo, any of these other names in the streaming space, and we'll have to see if things find support here. Maybe Netflix finds support around 250. I'm sure there's going to be more, just like Peloton, there's going to be buyout rumors. You're going to hear rumors about Apple. I wouldn't say Amazon. Amazon already has their platform, so they don't need anything. And Netflix, Apple does too, but I think it could be like a pocket acquisition, right? instead of spending all this money on content, and Netflix has that all there. So that's that. A Biogen all the way down to 212 at the open yesterday, and then just soared. I think from 9:30 to 10:30 went to 220s, went all the way up to 224.32 before closing at 223. Would not be surprised to see this over 230 today. So, or today or tomorrow. So I'll continue to hold the last of my calls. I already locked most of them in for some nice gains. That's Biogen. Other interesting names: Qterra, ticker CUTR. It was one of my top 5 stocks. Maybe it's 2015, 2016. They have a lot of devices. They remove tattoos. They do a lot of things similar to what Allergen did, where you have weight loss. I think it's cold sculpting, where they try and remove lines and fat and things like that. And they also just got a dermatology product. It got approved by the FDA on, I think it's called AviClear. So it's an acne device. I don't know if it's first of its kind, but the stock has been on a tear since the approval. And then this morning they signed a deal with Synchrony Financial so that people can do like buy now, pay later, BNPL. So not sure it's going to go nuts today, but certainly a name I'll be watching to possibly get back into the 70s. I didn't put that on a watch list, but sometimes it's tough to type all this stuff and look at everything that's going on. Another name, what else? SLCA. I mean, this one's been on a tear for a while anyway, but here's a company that provides products for fracking. So, if you're looking at what's going on in the oil space, obviously this is one of those names that has been on fire, similar to BPT, because it's just going to benefit from higher prices of oil. They announced after the close yesterday they're raising their prices on some industrial and specialty products. I don't know how much that's going to help with the stock, but it certainly looks like an opportunity. This used to be, I think back in the day, it used to be a $100 stock. Let's see if I can find it. So I'm not saying it goes back there, but I'm trying to think how long ago I used to follow it. Or maybe it was $70. All right. So it went all the way down to $1.25 at the height of COVID, when oil prices went negative. But I mean, wow. So maybe this has some room to 25 or so in the coming week or two. So another name I'm going to put on the watch list. I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to grab stuff right at the open, but maybe I'll get something there. Biogen 225 in the pre-market. That's nice. Other names here. It's going to be tough with ROKU down here at 108. The rest of my 125s, I think they close at 130. I'll be lucky if they open at 20 cents. If it holds 108 or so, maybe I'll hold the calls. Who knows? Maybe it reverses course. Maybe they'll think the bottom's in, at least for a company like ROKU. Oh, there's IBM's getting a bid here over 133. And I think that's it. I'll try and get back on later. Oh, Boston Beer, 550. When do they report earnings? This just came out. Another name. It's another name tough to get in front of the Mack truck, but at some point that's going to reverse course. But that's it for now, folks. Let's have a great day. Sorry about the